What's up everybody, it's Sean here, and if you guys have been following my channel for the past couple of years, you've probably seen the content of my channel has really shifted and focused a lot on New Balance. So I've appreciated New Balance for a long time now, and some of my favorite sneakers of all time are New Balance, for example, the Concepts Kennedy 999. But as you've probably seen in the mainstream sneaker world, there's been a growing shift and more increase in attention for the brand, and I think a lot of sneaker consumers are really opening up their eyes to understand the quality and the craftsmanship that New Balance provides. So today, following in the footsteps of yesterday's upload with my top 20 sneakers of 2021, I wanted to do a special video just for New Balance, so I'm going to be listing out my top 20 New Balance pickups of the year. Before we begin any further though, today's video is sponsored by the good people from Heffelux. Heffelux is my all-time favorite sneaker insoles, and they sell eTPU insoles, which essentially is the same material they use for Adidas Boost. So if you're looking to add some additional comfort inside your shoes, be sure to check out their website, which I've linked down below, and you'll see they sell 4 different insole options. So really depending on the type of insole density and the cushioning setup you're looking for, whether that's for a pair of winter boots or for sneakers, you're gonna find there's an insole for everybody. So I've been a paying customer of Heffelux for years now, and they truly are very comfortable and they add a ton of comfort to my shoes. So if you guys want to check them out and try a pair for yourself, be sure to use the code SEANGO at checkout and get 15% off your entire purchase. So I picked up so many pairs of New Balances throughout the year, and again it was just really hard to narrow it down to 20, but I did want to make a special note that for the general top 20 countdown video that I did yesterday, if you guys didn't watch that yet, I'll link that down below as well. But spoiler alert, there were a few pairs of New Balances that made that list. So we had the Protection Pack or Refined Future 2002R in the Rain Cloud colorway. We had the Joe Fresh Goods 990 V3 outside close, the Aimé Leon Dore 550 in the white, yellow, and green colorway, as well as the Soleil Bembury 2002R Water Be the Guide. So for the sake of not repeating myself, you can consider those as my top 4, but I've left them off this list just so that I'm not repeating myself all again. So kicking off my list at number 20, we have the MTA collaboration on this 920 in this gray colorway. The 920 is a relatively new silhouette from New Balance, and while it doesn't necessarily get the same level of love as, for example, a 992 or a 2002R, I personally love this model. The thing I love most about this collaboration is that it was very subtle. They kept a mostly gray upper, which is your classic New Balance color, but they've incorporated touches of blue, which is taken from the MTA logo, and they've even incorporated the MTA logo embroidered on the back heel too. Next up at number 19, we have the Jown collaboration on the 990 V4. So Jown, as you probably know, has had a ton of great collaborations with New Balance over the years, and while this one was a little bit different than your traditional Jown collab, I still really appreciated it. Instead of grays, greens, or tan colors, they opted for this navy blue and black combination. And while I don't necessarily love really dark, really black shoes, I really think they nailed the look they were going for, and the inclusion of these elastic bungee laces really changes the whole dynamic of the shoe, and it's a pair I can just throw on without worrying about getting dirty or anything like that, and obviously because of the colorway, it goes with pretty much anything. Moving on to number 18, we have another 920. This one is the sample pair that I picked up in the glow in the dark colorway. So I threw up a review on this shoe, but this is actually a sample colorway, and I'm still not sure if or when these are actually going to release. Again, the 920 silhouette has a very sleek look to it, but by pairing it with this glow in the dark and silver purple combination, it's a really unique New Balance colorway, and it's really hard to say no to anything glow in the dark. Moving on to number 17, we have the Concepts 992 Low Hanging Fruit. Concepts has an incredible track record with collaborating with New Balance, and this one was a very solid pair as well. The 992, as you guys know, has had continued success throughout the past few years, and this Kiwi inspired colorway I thought was very well executed. The quality was amazing, and I've come to expect no less from Concepts with their whimsical, playful collaborations. Next up at number 16, we have the Kith RC 1300 in this antler colorway. So these were released alongside 2 other colorways, so don't take this literally as that I prefer the antler colorway over the other 2, but basically what I'm saying is all 3 colorways were very well executed. This celebrates Kith's 10-year anniversary, and Ronnie Feig opted to work on this RC 1300 silhouette, which is something you don't see as often as your typical made in USA pairs. However, despite not being made in USA, the quality of this collaboration was amazing, and with typical Kith collaborations, the color choices for all 3 pairs were very well chosen. Moving on to number 15, we have the Bricks & Wood 5740. So the 5740 silhouette has been one of New Balance's most popular silhouettes these days. And this collaboration with LA-based Bricks & Wood was very unique, and it was very eye-catching. When you think of your typical New Balance, you don't usually think of this grass green colored shoe. And while this isn't going to be the easiest shoe to pull off, I really appreciated the variety of the materials. And again, for another made in Asia New Balance shoe, I thought the quality was top notch, and I think the gap in quality between the made in US and UK versus the made in Asia pairs, it really is shrinking. Moving on to number 14, we have the New Balance 992 in this purple and metallic silver colorway. This is just one of those New Balance general releases that really caught my eye. But the unique thing about this shoe is the upper is actually constructed out of Supima cotton, and by utilizing different tones of purple and violet on the shoe, it really gives it a fun and flashy vibe. So I know a lot of people might be sleeping on this because it's not a collaboration, but I thought that this was a beautiful pair. Moving on to number 13, we have the Todd Snyder 5740 Stony Beach. Menswear brand Todd Snyder is another company that has a rich history with collaborating with New Balance. And with this collab on the 5740 model, I think it exudes the Todd Snyder aesthetic perfectly. This has a very classy, gentleman-like vibe to it, and even though the 5740 model looks pretty chunky, I think the use of the colors and the materials really streamlines the look, and you can wear this shoe either dressed down or dressed up. Next up on my list, we have the Kith 990 V3 in the Genesis colorway. This pair is another one that also has a very mature vibe to it, and I really like how the navy blues is complemented with these cream hits. This is not a shoe that's going to turn a lot of heads, to be honest with you guys, but I thought the quality was really great, the colorway very versatile, and I love how I was able to get early access to this pair by being a loyal Kith customer. Moving on to number 11, we have the 992 in this teal and blue colorway. This is another general release shoe that I think has been sitting at a lot of Champs or Foot Locker stores. However, even though it's been sitting and there's no resale surrounding this pair, I really love this colorway. The 992, as you guys can see, is a very chunky dad-like shoe, but by incorporating these very fun, very playful, vibrant colors, it really gives the shoe a whole new vibe. This is like a quintessential summer colorway, and I can totally see myself rocking these somewhere hot on vacation. So now we're at the halfway point, and kicking off the list at number 10, we have the Bodega 990 V3 Here to Stay or Anniversary colorway. This pair was released earlier this year to celebrate Bodega's anniversary. And while I wasn't necessarily completely in love with this shoe when I first saw the initial images, they definitely grew on me the more I looked at them and the more I rocked them. It has a very trail-like or almost ACG vibe to it, and this being a made in USA pair, the quality was really nice. Comfort is definitely there for the 990 V3, and the color choices and color blocking of the shoe really stood out from all the other collaborations from New Balance this year. Next up at number 9, we have the Aimé Leon Dore 550 in the navy blue and red colorway. So this pair released alongside the yellow and green pair that made my top 4, and while it doesn't necessarily get the same level of love as the other colorway, I still think this colorway is beautiful. This one might arguably be even more wearable than the yellow and green, and as always, the quality of the leather I thought was great, and the 550, as you guys know, has been immensely popular in the past year or two. And especially after ALD decided to re-release their original gray, green, and navy blue colorways, the demand for the yellow and green and this one really shot up through the roof. Moving on, we have the Sneakers and Stuff 920. As you can see, I'm a fan of the 920 silhouette, and this one continues that trend. So these actually released earlier on, I believe in January of 2021. And this is one of those colorways that you either love or you hate. The colorway is so unique with this orange suede with green and yellow hits. And I know a lot of my personal friends really hate the look of this shoe, but personally, I'm really feeling it. This is another one of those unexpected off-the-wall colorways, and it really stands out for that reason. Moving on, we have the Levi's 990 V3 in this mallard blue colorway. So this year, Levi's dropped this blue colorway as well as a gray one as well, but this blue one really caught my eye. This is your quintessential Levi's denim blue, and I really like how the blue shades paired up well with the cream laces. And while this isn't necessarily reselling for the same level as their earlier 992 collaboration, I really like the choices of materials they use on this pair, including the denim and the suede, and this to me is just a gorgeous collaboration. Moving on to number 6, we have the 990 V2 double taps. You know, I'll be honest with you guys, when I first saw the product images of this shoe, I was a little bit confused. Coming off their very successful 992 collaboration, which was, to put it lightly, a lot more colorful and unique than this one, it wasn't until I got these in hand that I really appreciated the details. Yes, this is technically an all gray shoe, but when you hold it in the hand, you can really appreciate the quality of the materials and the slight variations in the shades of gray and the bluish grays. Next on my list, we have the Kith 990 V2 in this steel blue colorway. So this steel blue colorway has become synonymous with Kith, and we've seen them adapt this on the 992 last year, but earlier this year they applied the colorway on the 990 V2 model. And for me, every time I see this colorway on a New Balance shoe, I just think it really works and the color blocking is just amazing. Yes, it's not anything super inventive or anything that original, but the 990 V2 silhouette is one of my favorites, and this light blue shade partnered with this darker gray just works together perfectly in my opinion. Moving on to number 4, we have the Vape collaboration on the 2002R in this gray colorway. This is one of those releases that kind of just slid under the radar, and I don't even think they released here in Canada. However, I think this is a perfect marriage between Vape's aesthetic and New Balance's. You're able to incorporate both the loud camel print of Vape, but covering the entire shoe in gray gives it that classic New Balance look. And of course, the 2002R silhouette has been incredibly popular, and this shoe gives you that perfect balance of uniqueness while being wearable enough for being all gray. So now we're at our top 3, and at number 3, we have the Nice Kicks Amoeba collaboration on this 992 and the yellow and gray colorway. This was a triple collaboration that was really well executed. I personally love the color blocking on this shoe by incorporating the different shades of gray with this very bold and bright yellow, and then by throwing on these mint or teal colored laces really set it off. The 992 is a silhouette that's been getting a ton of wear in my rotation, and of all the collaboration pairs, I think this one is the one I've worn the most. Moving on, the first runner-up of my list goes to the Prada New Balance 991. I don't know what it is about this collaboration, but I just really love the colorway. The 991, while it isn't necessarily one of my top 3 or 5 silhouettes from New Balance, I think the way that Prada incorporated the color blocking on this shoe really helped to elevate it and really made it stand on its own. We've seen these days that tan and brownish shades are really popular, and this is a great example of how to really execute it well. And of course, the 991 being manufactured in New Balance's England factory, the quality was amazing as usual. So now we're left with one, and you guys might be a little bit surprised at this pick, but my number 1 pick is actually a non-collaboration pair. And my number 1 pick goes to the 990 V2, and I honestly don't even know what the colorway for this shoe is, but let's just call it by its style name, which is M990 CP2. So this is a very beautiful, very unique general release pair. And I didn't expect to love this as much as I did, but somehow combining all these colors together, they just really made a very beautiful and very nice looking sneaker. Again, this is not a collaboration and it doesn't need to be. It's just a shoe that looks beautiful on foot, and you can really style this with a whole variety of outfits and looks. The quality I thought was really nice, and I really love the uniqueness of the color blocking, and to be honest, it was kind of hard to leave this off my top 20 list from yesterday. So this is really a testament to the quality of New Balance products, and it shows you that a product doesn't need to be really limited, and it doesn't have to have a triple collaboration, for example, to make it a very dope sneaker. So again, if you guys are watching this and you missed the introduction, this has been my top 20 pickups of New Balance, excluding the top 4 pairs, the Protection Pack or Refined Future 2002R, Joe Freshgoods 990 V3, the Aimé Leon Dore 550 yellow and green, and the Soleil Bembury 2002R. So let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think of my top 20 pickup list. What are the pairs on here that you agree with? What are the pairs I included that you disagree with? And is there anything that you guys picked up that I missed out this year on? If you guys like this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet. You can follow me on Instagram at esco8, check me out on Twitter at sean.go, and visit my website at seango.ca. And before we end this video, I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, Heffalux. They've been a proud sponsor of my channel for a good chunk of the year. And like I said, no lies, I really love their products. That's why I was super happy to have them on board. So thank you everyone for watching. Fingers crossed for another strong year from New Balance next year. And I'll catch you guys all in my next video.